But I'm very pleased to introduce our demonstrator tonight. This is David Qualls. David demonstrated for us in 2025 as well. David also brought his wife Linda, who is in the back. So they came over. Dave participates with several Ohio clubs, but I think your main club is North Coast. Is that fair?
And I'm pretty even with Buckeye also.
Okay, so North Coast is near Cleveland, Buckeye is in Akron, and you probably deal with
Perry.
Oh, with
I was vice president of that club early on during COVID, then we kind of went there.
Okay,
but I'm still a member of Lake Erie also.
So Lake Erie Club, that's where Ron Tomash is. So David has graciously volunteered to come over to demonstrate a project that he is very passionate about. I don't want to steal his thunder, but this also has meaning to me personally, because my mother was a cancer survivor for many, many years, and this project at that time would have meant a lot to her. So I'm going to let David explain the project and the work he has been doing with the various clubs that he participates in. Please ask questions, be an active participant in the meeting. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to David Qualls. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming. And this is kind of a passion that I've picked up. They invited me. Again, I'm David Qualls, and I am from the Mentor area, and that is east of Cleveland. But I was asked last year if I would be willing to do the homework and figure out how to do a wood stand. And I am also a member of the AEW, and I remember seeing something in the AEW magazine. They have been promoting this in order to get more clubs involved in it. And there are several articles in there about one that really rings a bell, one in Tennessee, where the members turned the wig stands, and then they gave them to a youth group, and the youth decorated them, and they were just gorgeous. I mean, and just to understand how these go, is I demonstrated this at the North Coast Wood Turning Club in August. And the next month, we came in, 38 wood stands showed up. When I delivered those to the gathering place in Brecksville, that's a nonprofit. I mean, they have everything there. They have Roku, they have dietitians, they have meals, they have financial, they have everything there for the cancer patients. All free, 100% free. The whole place shut down when I walked in with these 38 wig stands. It's just kind of really exciting. My wife was with me, and to see everybody gather around, they're really excited about it. A couple of weeks ago, I delivered 10 more, and she says, "Thank God you brought us more. We just ran out." And since everybody, when they pick one, they go and they pick up a wig, and they're sitting there fitting out the wig. Now, if you're wanting a wooden wig stand, this is instead of this piece of styrofoam, you can pick one off the shelf. And they say, "Free?" I said, "Yes, donated by North Coast Wood Turning Club." And it said, the smile these people get. So one of the things I may forget to mention is embellish these. When you make these, do something that makes it a little bit more connect with these. Something that they told me that when these people pick these up and they see them, they think of them every morning they get up with a smile. So I try to embellish them on the bottom, on the side, do something that when they look up in the morning, they've got something to see that can put a smile on their face. With everything they're going through, if you know anybody or friends or family going through cancer, if they're going through it, it's amazing.
Do you remember the AEW Beads of Courage?
Yes.
Box program?
It's still on.
Oh, okay.
The club that I'm, the two clubs, I should say, Buckeye and North Coast, both have 4 different charities. Now they have this one just started in August. They have Pins for Troops that goes through woodcraft. They have Beads of Courage, and they have empty bowls that they're donated to Kiwanis, and they raise funds for food pantries. So they're very involved. All 4 of those clubs are very giving back to the community. And I was talking to Mark, if we could somehow stir this up on TV or something and say, look at what we do. We're not just coming and sit around doing these things. We're really giving back. And I think that's what we want to look at. It's fun to turn. I enjoy turning. You see some of my work here. This was the mold that I put the resin in when I was here back in what, February, I think it was.
It was February of last year.
And I just set this aside when I got home, I forgot to, and about 2 months ago, I said, hey, Merry Christmas, so I'll finish that. So that is that hole right there. I do a little bit of everything, I attend the lit classes that, North Coast has, and we take it from there. Now, just a real quick, this is a finished piece right here, it's not gonna fall apart, it's 3 pieces. 3 different kinds of wood. This is a, kind of, I call it the skeleton, to show people how it kind of goes together. Which piece comes first, I mean, a tenon, and just as a tip, safety tip, I like the safety first. We need to talk to Tom Ochu about that, but, whenever I'm doing, with cedar and, box elder specifically, when I put a tenon on, I know I'm gonna cut that off, I use CA glue around it. You know, it compresses a lot, and you keep compressing it, and you keep checking it. But the one thing I've found is I've crushed these things, and I've had them come off. I have a Powermatic 3 horsepower. I can really torque things pretty good. But this is kind of what you're going to go to. You're going to flip it, tenon. Same thing, the spindle. Not much to talk about spindle. It's got 1 inch tenon and a 1 inch hole. Pretty basic. They encourage the program that I saw, encouraging you to, you know, leave a little space for them to put something in. They go to bed at night, they can store some of their earrings or something in them. And, it just works out very well. But this is from the AAW, and I told Mark, I don't remember where I found it in their website. And they have several samples of some of the spindles, just ideas if you're kind of lost at what to do. You can do almost anything. So Mark will have these, he said he can publish this back up for you guys later. So we'll go, we'll start this, this is wrong. Any questions, holler, it isn't, it's easier than turning the hole. It's just follow the process. One thing I do different, you see a lot of turners just, they'll sit this on their right up here on the light stand and push it right in the chuck. Tom Olich was famous for doing that. I don't trust it. He says he's never had no fly off. Well, maybe not. So what I do is I use this spur drive in my chuck. And you can put it just in your tailstock if you want to. And I kind of measure this thing so it's just out a little bit. So I'm going to grip it. This is spring loaded on this one. Now I have 2 things going for me. One is I got a little bit extra grip here. I've got my tailstock. And I can identify, plus I'm going to come against, I'm going to push it hard enough to be against my chuck also. That gives me, I think, double safety on this thing. So I don't have anything worked on here, you can see, so we're going to bring it up. And if I'm off a little bit, I'll loosen up here. But sometimes this wood is kind of iffy. If I'm touching, at least on 3 jaws, I'm going to say, plus I got the grip from the drive center. I don't mind cranking it. So if you look at it, I've got 3 jaws touching really close. You never quite parallel, so you can move there. Now the next step I do is I believe in a 10 on both sides. If you look on this piece right here, that's the first. And you can go either way. You can either put a tenon on what's from your top or on the bottom. And in some cases, I've actually left on the bottom and taken the shittle off, and sometimes it's together. Even if this hangs down here, it doesn't really matter. You make it part of the decoration. So if the tenon is way down here, so be it. Just whatever works better with the size of wood you have to work with. So I'll keep referring to this. But right now, I think the best thing is to clean this up. And then I'm gonna set my tenon on the side. And because I've already got less material up here, this is gonna be the curvature. I've marked this off. The standard size they talked about is starting with the block. I got a lot of gold blanks, something that's gonna finish it about 5 3/4, give or take a little bit. They want it to be slightly rounded. You can see that one. They want that curvature to be a complete curvature on the top. They don't like flat spots because then the wig can kind of settle. They want that to keep that pressure on that wig. You can come down like the side of your hip. A little bit going around, it kind of flattens out on the side. So that's why they kind of come up with this design. And they say this works best for the wigs. Now they're going to be getting these wigs wet. They're going to sweat on them. They're going to put them on at night. So there are restrictions. Hope I don't forget to talk about it, but basically they like the poly. The poly is the best because it seals it and doesn't have any volatiles. It's not going to get off any fumes and it's not going to get tacky. The tackiness on that film and the inside of that wig can be ruined by using the wrong finish. So that is very important. I put 3 coats of poly on it and then I use Yorkshire grips just to get a nice buff. Yorkshire grips is just beeswax and food grade mineral oil. And basically they're putting it on and taking it off. So that's not leaving any residue on it. You can feel that when you get up sometime and feel it's nice and clean. So I'm going to clean this up and get a 10 on here. I've already marked it. I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be about right here when I finish the size.
Would it be possible to adjust the mic a little closer to your mouth, please?
That's one thing. We had our last meeting, we had one of our former presidents running around there telling everybody that wasn't wearing glasses. You just lost 3 months of your life.
David, could you adjust the microphone a little closer? Yeah, right underneath your bottom lip, if you would, please.
Okay.
That's much better. Thank you.
Let's see if this is gonna work. Still on, you're good, Mark? Yeah.
CW, is that better?
Okay, how's that? I got it inside the hood.
Have him say something, please.
Say a little bit.
Okay, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Lift up the, I guess if that's it, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'm not totally like, old true Tom, but I don't quite like as much speed as he does. We did that, I think. I like to turn around 15, 1600. I turn faster, but I really don't see the need to. If I can cut it okay, without using carbide to do resin, yes, carbide and resin, you have to have the speed. So you get that speed going, at that point, I'm a full blast on the turning this resin. I try to line up my tool. And it might not like my big tool. Yeah, I can do that. A little warm on the fingers. This is very hard work. I'm not sure what kind of wood it was. It was in my pile. Seems like every time I go to a club meeting, there's some guy standing out in the parking lot trying to put stuff in my trunk. Kind of promised my wife I'd kind of back off on business, so I got way too much. I start to take blanks in and they look. They go to club meeting. So this one, we've got to kind of say, okay, this ain't gonna work for us. Okay, and then I'm gonna check, I've had some markings here. So that's pretty much where I need to be. So I'm gonna leave that there for right now. I know it's gonna thin it up a little bit more. It's always interesting if you guys do demos. I know Mark does. It's interesting to go someplace else with different equipment. You know where your equipment is when you're in the shop. When you go someplace else, it's kind of awkward. So this is a, that's not what I want. A little mini party tool I picked up somewhere, and it really works out nice. Kind of. So it is there.
Now, David, again, you're doing the top. Is that correct? You're doing the top piece. Is that correct?
Yes, this is the top. This piece right here.
Yeah.
Now, this right now, instead of doing this part of it, I'm gonna put a pin on this part of it. And it really doesn't matter which end you start. I'm gonna have to put the pin on both sides before I go any further. This just allows me to do something here, and then I can reverse it, and then I can clean it up. And this is gonna be out here. Oh, shoot. Yeah. There's a tool for everything, just trying to figure out which one's gonna work. Okay, let's see here what we go with. We move 20 material because I'm not running a hole, but I am going to stake in there, so. I can check, make sure I'm doing enough. Where I need to be. I can leave a little bit of a shoulder for that chuck, but I don't have enough to grip on yet, so I have to take that down a little deeper. Okay. Good. My, it's a nice little piece. Most of my tools I picked up here and there, and I could not tell you where I got all of them. This is perfect for making that fit to my chuck. A nice back spot. Matches my chuck and good. So right now I'm in a position where I can reverse this and I can clean this off. I got a lot to take off the top. And I can take this and, put a tenor on the top. Yeah, I'm gonna be about Got right in here, so I got a lot to take off, and I'll get a pin on there. Same time. And that way, I'm safe, I'll have this tucked up instead of sitting out. Was making me a little nervous, even though I didn't have that, but you can see. Well, that didn't make a mark on there, but usually I can see all the teeth where they dug in on the end of this.
I'll go to the overhead.
All I've got is mark, so I could realign that because I have the pin from the drive center.
Dave, I've got the overhead on if you want to show it.
That doesn't show very good, you can see it really good. So I had a pretty good grip on it, and that's, you know, I can stand back, I'm not gonna stand behind it. Now I still have my chuck in here ready to go. That matches up the hole, I knock it up, loosen up a little bit. And then I make sure everything's lined up, and if you look, you can see it there. I'm real close, so I've got a really nice contact. The closer your jaws are together when they close, the better you grip on it. If you have those jaws way out there, slow your speed down and try to get a good pin on, because if you have too much space here between your jaws, you're only gripping on the corners. I think most of you probably know that, but might be some newer people here that don't understand that. So you want to get this as close as you can in size. Now I'm safe enough to pull away. I will remove some of this material with the tailstock. Go here for support. I want this to be, I don't want to have too much of the work with, so I'm looking about right here. There. Somewhere. And all the checker clearance and all the turn away off. I've seen some of these pros even on YouTube, that you just, machine on and then it's not a good idea. In fact, I'm getting pretty close to a nice shape right here. So best thing to do is mark my tenon. Everybody has pretty much the same way, putting this thing up and trying to mark it, well, going around. I eyeball with a pencil, and then I measure it, I'm close enough. I've seen those things fly away too many times. Really, they're hard to do it. See, when I go to make this round by using the tenor on the back and I pull this away, I can just smooth that right out and still be pretty round on there. Okay, good there. Back with the tool this small, you're trying to handle it, just remember, don't try to stay way out here on your tool rest. That thing goes just like that really, really fast. You want to get good control. I'm pushing down against my post here. I want to get the flat spots, get them sharp on both sides. Get tenons. Okay. My ball is real quick. I'm way bigger than I need to be, so I'm gonna bring this down on the sides a little bit more.
David, what is the diameter you're shooting for? What is the diameter you're shooting for?
Between 6 and 5 3/4 and 6.
Okay.
Right now I'm over 6, so I'm gonna take this down a little more. I think pretty much of that line I'm done. And that way I should get this out of there. I've measured this at home and it seems like that would work. Their tool will pretty much tell you how much you can take off. If you try to take too much off, you're gonna have a problem. You have a good sharp tool that helps. Level, it's got the tool to its job. Get pretty close. Yep, okay. Now I can pretty much get the rest of this out of here by getting my dome done on this, okay? So I'm gonna take the strap off real gently. Good for the, like the hand right here. I'm gonna mark this about where I need to come in. You see right here, I have probably more than an inch for this natural edge is, so I can start about right here and take that and end up about right in here. So this has got a lot of wood that can come off yet. And I'm gonna get as close as I can to getting this done with the hole drill and switch on so I can do a little bit of all three parts. I don't want to short anything, but I don't want to spend all my time just on one piece. So we'll get through so you can get it, see where it's going to mount at, okay? It's starting. Okay. I'm gonna move on to putting the hole in the bottom. Everybody okay with this? You can see from here, pretty easy to go ahead and go all the way around. If you're at home, you can continue doing it, getting it down further and then flipping it. Right now, in order to be able to finish before midnight, I'm gonna flip it around and we'll drill the hole and we'll clean out that bottom a little bit more, okay?
So
Any questions?
real quick, David, do you finish this side?
I have not finished the inside of it yet.
Oh, so you need the tenon to stay on this side now.
I'll leave that, I will leave this on till the very end.
Got it. Okay.
And I'm gonna work on the inside now and put the hole in it right now. Which would be my step number 3 and 4.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Glad for the questions, but some of you might be too shy to ask. I know Mark isn't. I don't know how many of you have a Powermatic, but, well, I love my Powermatic. But I hate the Benja. I bought it one way. Oh, my gosh. It spoils you. And that's a tip from our, Ron. Ron did the same thing on his, yeah. But right now. No, don't hold it. Well, you can see right here the shape. It looks pretty good. I mean, it didn't take too long to get to that point. Well, never leave that in there.
You got it.
Oh, we're still on?
Yeah, you're good.
I just put it in my hip pocket.
You got it?
Yeah.
I'm not going in there after it.
On my shoulder. So again, from the safety standpoint. Now I've got 10 on both. If I decide I need to go back, I still have the other 10 in there for the last minute. Let me get this out of my way. So real quick right here, what I would do here, I usually try to take as much out of the top as I can to keep it light on the top, heavy on the bottom, okay? That's kind of the rule of thumb. Double check my width. And actually, I'm pretty big on this one. I'm still. No, I'm just right at 5 3/4. So perfect. Whew. Feel that well. No, it made you, I guess. I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit and then we're gonna go. And this might be where you wanna use the texturing tool. If you look at the bottom of that one, I do a design sometimes on the top and the bottom. It doesn't take but a minute, and use some color behind it. I might take, didn't shame on me, I didn't put a hand on everything. I know that my pin and the dowel is gonna hang out of it, but I might put a little line right here, just kind of show that off. Maybe another right in there. Just something to change the course of your eye. Move that just there. So right now, we're gonna drill it. You could come back right now and take more material out if you wanted to. Or not. I just move it up. Put my edges off. Yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Can you try, I'm sorry, do you want a lot of weight in the bottom so it doesn't
Well,
tip
more on the
over?
bottom, than the top.
Okay,
Bottom, look at a bowling pin. Bowling
Yeah.
pin, say on the bottom, right on the top. Think of that same concept. That's what you want to do here. I do sharpen my falter bits before I use them every time. It's an old habit. I run a diamond card up the side 4 times each, and I have pretty good luck keeping the point where it does.
Could you show us that real quick? Please?
I have a 180, 300.
I've got the overhead camera on.
The 180, 300. I was at the 2017 symposium in Kansas City. One of the demonstrators said, oh, he uses this. He cleans up his tool, puts a nice edge on it before he makes his last pass. He said, it's one of the grinder and the material. He said, just go down the hall, with one of the booths and look for the barefoot Australian guy. And I didn't pay that much from it, but sure enough, I went down there, this barefooted guy running a booth selling diamond tools. So all I do is I line that up. Your cutting surface is right here. This is where you're cutting, here and here. And if you run your thumbnail there, you'll feel where the sharp or it's not. And it doesn't take much. I mean, I've had some of these falls in business 5, 6 years. So I make about 2 passes with the 80. Always use the same number. You get an uneven balance if you don't. Hold that flush with it. You see how it lines up? See that enough? And just run up there. Doesn't have to be fast and hard. Boom. Same thing on the other side. 180. You'd be surprised at the difference that makes. It doesn't look like it's going to do much, but everything you cut, all your cutting tools are a burr. That's all you're talking about is that burr. If you lose that burr, you lose your cutting surface. It doesn't matter if it's a scraper, it's a bowl gouge, or a Fosner bit. Okay, now I've got this marked right up here. This is my 1-inch mark. Now on the directions that they give you, they say, drill your tenon will be 1/2 inch and drill a hole 5/8 because of the compression of the glue. What the heck? I got a lot of wood there. I'm still a 1-inch hole. Doesn't matter. And I do about a 3/4, 5/8, 3/4 tenon. I don't need to worry about it. Well, if you're doing some of these smaller ones that these guys do, they're thinner. They do have to be more careful to not go through the top. Always turn your lay speed down. I usually drill at about 450, 500, 400. There's no sense in getting that bit too hot. Very easy. It's cutting. Guys, it's cutting. I've heard people put wax on their bit. I don't worry about my glue setting up, so I've never done that. That would avoid that squeeze. Okay. That's it. Now, this is not going to come out like your normal because unfortunately I'm still using. That is from my shop smith. Not exact number two. But it works. But go one more day without buying a new tool.
All right, there you go.
So pretty much this is done for now, okay? I mean, if I were home, I would continue things set up. But there you go, that's the top half right there.
Can we pass that around, David?
Would it be much thinner than that, or are you happy with that?
Now, this one, I'm kind of at risk on this. I've already got it pinned. And since this is the top, the bottom, I can leave that in place. I don't have to take that off.
Yeah.
This piece of oil that was kind of sitting there waiting to have something done to it. So I'm gonna clean it up a bit and go ahead and use it. Why not? Everything I brought is from my pile that I've turned from, for bowls.
This is still pretty heavy. We take more material out to lighten this up.
Yes, you can take a little bit more out, get that a little lighter, yes, for sure. Plus you're gonna lose it when you, probably about the bottom of that larger portion there is gonna be the top. You've got a lot of wood to take off the top yet also. But you can take those and get them pretty thin without hurting anything. Get extra wood on it.
When you adjust the height of your tool rest, what's your target?
Excuse me,
When you adjust the height of your tool rest, what's your target? What are you aiming for when you adjust the,
I adjust that and put this where I'm gonna hold my tool. Everybody holds it different. Some people come way down here and hold it. You need to point this toward the center of your line. So if you're coming way up here, it's different than somebody's holding it down here. So I line it up at the center, and you can see the center is right there. So if I'm coming in right here, I'm gonna hit that right at that center. You can get your best cut. I've been doing this and had it just kind of flop on me. When it's not feeling good, it's not cutting. It's probably because it's not aligned. Thank you. Still got you? You still on?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Mark.
So a little bit of a trick to this that I use is I do a mortise instead of a tenon on the bottom. It gives me more flexibility and gives me time to work on it. So if you look at the bottom of that one, you'll see that. Bad stuff yet? Pretty close. Now your base, kind of pretty free to do whatever you feel like doing. You don't have the same design constraints as far as that dome. So you can kind of feel pretty easy about doing something that looks good. So we're gonna clean that up. I got everything marked. I tried just putting a black marker, but I'm just gonna put tape and that has to be 6, 8 months. Okay. This works pretty fast. So we're gonna go. When you're using a carbide like this, it's gonna pretend even though it's a straight tip. Where it's kind of, you can use it a lot like a negative rate. So I usually, if you look at what I'm doing, I usually have my hand slightly elevated. It cuts really good at that point. If you try to go straight in, it's just, it doesn't work for me as well. So try different things and see what works best for you. Kind of leave a little medallion down there. Just for fun and kicks. Right there. Kind of come up the center. That's not flat, so I gotta flatten that out. So what I do is I just take it in a little bit. Should have done this before I put that in, but I don't think I get too much off. So. And the good thing about having a pin on both ends, if you find out it's not quite right when you're done, just flip it back around. By doing that, that's sticking out too far. So unfortunately, we gotta eliminate that. we're gonna go on to the next step. We're pretty close. Okay, so that's something you go back and forth on pretty easy. Okay.
And Dave, one more time for our newer members, can you explain how the mortise will work rather than the tenon?
Okay, one of the reasons I do that is because I can go back and forth and I already have a finish on here. Versus having a tenon. I don't have to come back to this end and take a tenon off, okay? Because this is done. I can be done right here. And, you know, it's so much easier to do that. This bowl here, Sally Alt from, California, came to North Coast and did a demo. And that was her thought is just put a mortise on and decorate it, make it look good and use it. Well, now. Okay, there. Set to go. Now I can do whatever I need to do right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drill the hole right now, and then I'm gonna work around that, so that I can know how I'm gonna set this up. Turn the speed down. That's my mark there, so let's see what we got. Seven eighths.
Dave, just to let you know, you're at 1 hour. You're at 1 hour. We've got plenty of time.
I'll be done with this one, and we'll do the, pretty quick, we're pretty much, as far as I can see, we're pretty much on schedule. Thanks. So right now, I'm gonna bring this out, and then I'm gonna come back, clean up the side a little bit. Got to about 1,500 RPM. Now, because of the way this is going to mount on here, I do two things. Is I use my spindle tool and I take a little bit of material out of here, and I do a little pullback, and I'll show you that when I do it. By the same token, what I do here is I concave this in right here. So that when this seats in, everything disappears. Of course, not on that one, but you don't want to be able to see that crack in there. So when this would be finished, that'd be the first thing I would check to see if this fits right, or do I need to take a little bit more material off here, or maybe here. Where is it rising up so it leaves a crack? You want this thing to kind of disappear. You can look on those there, the way that disappears right in there. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So right now, this is kind of Then you decorate that, like I said before, I can put a little color on there, put a little line right there. Look like right here, because that's gonna come out about right here. So that's good. Now what we're gonna do, the purpose there, as you can see on that, is a little dip. So that when they get there, they have to put their earrings or maybe their ring they like to take off at night. Or they just wanna set something aside where they know what it's happening, you don't have to worry about it. So just take a little bit out of there. A little bit of dip. I like to leave my little shoulder here. This I'm gonna have to put that back on my truck. Put that on, I got someplace to put the feet in. And then if it becomes a part of the look, it doesn't have to be there because you need it, it can be there and it's part of the look, so nobody will know the difference. Yeah. Need a little bit more cleaning up, but we're gonna move on, we're gonna finish this side real quick, and then we're gonna go on to the thing. Yeah, just like even that like. That was my problem, I'm a little high. And again, right here, you can do pretty much whatever you want, just clean it up a little bit. Well, perfect. Okay, a little more cleaning up. This is where I would take my tool out and put a little bit of a pattern. We had been quick with the Buckeye Club. He's done a real study on this. He showed us must have been 100 different patterns you can get off this one tool, just based on the angle you hold it at. Boom, 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 higher than center, below center. Amazing. So I just kind of use this. You don't need it going super fast. I'll redo that again, but make it fun. Got it. This gives you a little chatter, you can, everything you do with the pattern. You can put a little color on it. I found out, thanks to my wife who's an artist, I said, how can I get pink? She said, oh, no. So that is white with some red on top of it, and that's pretty pink. So that's pretty much, again, needs some refining, cleaning up, but you, anybody have any questions or go any further with this?
You make the base the same diameter as the top,
Excuse me?
you make the base the same diameter? Or
Not necessarily, not necessarily. If anything, I would make the base maybe a little bigger than the top. And that wouldn't hurt. I did one at the, I think it was, no, it was the North Coast where I actually did a wing bowl. So I left the wings out really high. And then I put 8 holes, two, and 2. And I took some of my wife's earrings and put in them and demonstrated them to the club that way. She can, instead of just take them out and have them throw them in here for the hook times, she can just hook them right in there. So there's, play with and figure things out and just all kinds of ways to make something really interesting. And let's see if we go around. This is a nice piece of cherry. They look pretty good with those pieces. Yeah, I think so. So. Coming up like this here. This is one of the tricks that I found after the first time I did one and just about ruined my, drive center. I measured this and I said, gee, I gotta turn this down and have a tenon on each end that's an inch. Well, guess what? That's an inch. I can be careful enough. No, you can't. You can look at the side of this and you can see you can't. So what I do, I went out, went on the website. I found this little thing listed separate different places, about $42. Went to go to Amazon and picked it up for 15, same exact part. That's 5/8 of an inch. So if you got something that's smaller, 5/8, half, it works wonderful. You do what we're gonna do right here.
Oh.
Sarah already marked.
How's the look?
It's pretty close.
So, shoot, the one part I wanted to bring my fucking gown, forgot to put it in. We can do it without. So on there.
Yeah, you're okay.
I think we just lost.
I turn it down.
There's a,
Oh,
Black muffins here.
okay. Still got the down coming?
Yeah, you're.
I don't hear much anymore, so. Well, you can see, I am completely deaf in my right ear. I have a cochlear implant, I don't know if you know what it is, but I got an implant and, lead going into my skull, so I can learn to hear out of this ear. And it's been over a year and I'm still learning. Your natural born hearing is wonderful as long as it stays alive. So we're gonna knock this down pretty quick. I'll just use my. This part could be really fun or not so much fun. How do you feel about it? Because you can do just about anything on this and not be wrong, so. This is where you need speed. Speed when I'm thinking. Usually they say they should run between, 8 to 9 inches, depending on what size you wanna make. That's on the tall side. If that were 2 or 3 inches shorter, it wouldn't hurt anything. They're different wig lengths. They just, this says an average, they say make this about 8 to 9 inches. I think that paperwork over there says, 9. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find center. So, let's see. Okay, there's center. That gives me a little design issues. I'm gonna do this at 5/8 and 5/8. So they say that's what I should do. And it makes sense because if you're a little sloppy when you put these together, like one of these I did is pretty sloppy. And you can see that. So we'll talk real quick about that. And if it ends up sloppy like that, well, we're kind of stuck with it. But just use 2-part epoxy. I mean, not 2-part, but I forget the brand, but 5-minute epoxy, that's what I want to say. And that worked real good. And that's why you want to hide it here, because if you put, and that's one of the tips they tell you, do not put any glue. If you're using glue, if you're real tight like that one, you can use glue, pipe bond works fine. Do not put any glue on this, because when it starts squeezing out, it's going to come up around here, you're going to have a cleanup problem. Avoid that by only putting the glue or the resin in here and press it in. Now you're good. It's not going to press out and come out. You don't have the cleanup problem and stains the wood or whatever. And that's one thing they do say in this brochure is to make sure you put everything inside, not on stem. Okay, this is a little tip that's really good to know. It does make sense when you think about it. So now we're going to show how we do this because I have access. I can come back and forth and not lose my indexing. So if I were to take this off right now, I did this, I come right back, put it right back on the same position. And I don't have to worry about when you take it off the pin. A little over 1 inch. Go off that side. I know I'm not close enough, but the rule of thumb is careful, anchor your arm so you're not going to get it caught anywhere and hold your tool. What I'll do is I'll do a small little area. That way, if I make it too small right there, guess what? I'm so good. All right, think about there. I'm going to go ahead and bring everything else down the backside. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but one way to gauge this, maybe everybody knows this, but now, if you look at this, it's not there yet, but how far is it? If you can look at it from the standpoint of touching it right here, and you come down on the other one on the inside. So what you're seeing here is, shows you right here how much more you've got. And I've got maybe less than 1/16 of an inch touching. Now, remember, I'm taking off double, so that's about a 30 seconds. Okay, remember that's half. You gotta split that in half. So I don't need much more to come off. I don't need that full amount. I need half of that. Won't matter on the back end. Okay, I should be pretty close. Now, I will make sure. Everything is going good.
There you go.
Keep blaming us.
Bottom.
We don't
Isn't
have,
that the top? Oh, there it is.
we ain't got nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty big there, so I've got more to go.
That's the top.
Thank you. So the beauty of it is it will go right back on. You have the most senior indexing. And what I do is I check it. If I check with the bottom, I mark bottom. If I'm checking it with the top, I'll mark top right on there. So, you know, I'm not going to confuse myself. Yeah, it is a little bit. Okay. Okay, it's starting, so you see there. Okay, so I'll clean that up a little bit more, and I'm gonna close the undercut, and if you want me to keep going, that's fine, but pretty much from here is the easy part. A little bit of a pull cut, go in there to that corner. Get it on there. Just pull back on it. And create that undercut that I was talking about. Check it. Now, straight. I'm not there. We are there. Yes, I can see daylight in those. So now when you put this in. And take a bit more off. Perfect. I'll do that so you can see that. The rest of it is basically spindle turning, but the trick to put this on by being able to go back and forth instead of just measuring with your calipers and then finding out that your calipers are off of 32nd of an inch can be very frustrating. The first one or two I did, I'm solving this problem. This is not good. I'm a little loose, so it's gonna have to be a 5 minute epoxy on that one. But you can see. See the bevel, but you don't see a crack in there. See my line, you see my pencil line, but you don't see.
There you go.
Yeah, it's tight, very tight.
So if I were to shave off that line, that pencil line.
So Dave, when you glue him up, do you glue top and bottom at the same time?
I've got a little trick. I put the mortise in the end. One more trick. Then I use my tailstock. Find it. Oh, here it is. I use my tailstock. This is the fitting for your tailstock. I don't know if any of you have this or not, but this is the 1/4 on the tip. It matches up if you have this kind of a life center. And I can have my chuck on here. So I can have a chuck on. I will put my chuck on this side and put my vacuum chuck on the other side, even though I'm not using it for vacuum chuck, but it helps everything center. And I just push it together. Walk away next morning, it's done. So this is, and this is Chris Ramsey's suggestion. The one way he said, you gotta have one of these. I've used this a lot. When I'm reverse chucking something and I wanna even line it up with my, vacuum chuck, I will take my chuck. And leave my bowl on here. I've been turning my bowl, okay? So I just leave the bowl on there and I want to take the tenon off. I take this and put it on here. And I got the pin somewhere. And there's a pin in here, you put it in, you thread that on there. And I put my vacuum chuck. And I take that up there, I turn on my vacuum chuck and I ease that right in there. When I hear that thing go, I loosen my chuck up, back it off, and I got perfect alignment. Instead of saying, oh, I still got that center mark there. If I line up that center mark, how many of you done that and then find out, I'm off about 1/16 of an inch? And then you gotta kind of do a little custom work on it. This has been really a lifesaver. Again, I'm lucky enough to have a vacuum system built into my lathe. Just plug in the hose into it, put the adapter back there, and I'm ready to go. That's real sweet. The rest from here on out is just spindle turning. Okay, and I'm sure you guys, but that's the trick for this thing here is to make sure that you can take that off and on and try to get it closer, but you can see right there, there's hardly any crack in there. So by being able to take it off and on and having this on this end, it just looks real sweet. Okay?
That's nice. Keeps it aligned.
I mean, turning this is pretty simple. But this has got a lot of ideas and Mark gets this on there. For some of you who have trouble visualizing what the spindle turn, there's plenty of ideas. And I like to put something on the base, because here's where the spindle, keep forgetting it. Here's where you're gonna go into your top and your bottom. And if you put a little curl or something there, decorate, it helps it start it out, just like you see down there. So I kind of started rolling it right away. And that kind of gives it a little bit more of a decoration, kind of separating the two pieces and making them look good. Okay. So, and then, also some sayings that Holly said that is really inspirational. They use all the day with cancer patients, inspirational messages. She sent me this and Mark can put this
Yeah,
out there for
you
you.
see it over the overhead. There
And
you go.
it says, you know, you write it with what they call those, archival pins. After you put your, sanding sealer or whatever, or before you put your, your poly on there, I have found that it doesn't usually bleed off. So you can try that instead of using your pin, you know, trying to do it with your biography pen or heat burning it. It's a lot neater, a lot cleaner looking. Any questions?
So Dave, can you summarize the mandatory requirements
Okay, good point.
from a wig stand standpoint that
From the wig stand, yeah, the wig stand point, what they tell you in the AAW article that I read and that when I used to have the whole copy of that, is the height does not have to vary a whole lot, because if it's a long wig, that's the only time, and there are very few people that have wigs that long. So anything that's using a 9-inch spindle ends up being the right height for any of them. But to say if you don't have all the hardware and you want to do a shorter one, 2 or 3 inches, that would be okay, because a lot of people use short wigs. My neighbor has cancer, she's still under treatment. I've offered her a wig stand. She said, no, I just throw mine up in the closet. You can't hardly tell whether she's got this, or she's just shaved her head, or she got her wig is only about an inch thick, or an inch long, so she doesn't worry about it. Most of the time she doesn't even have it on, because running around the yard. Real sweet lady. She divorced by herself. Her son's in California. I feel really bad for her. We always invite her over for Thanksgiving, Christmas, spend time with our family, because she really doesn't have family, but it's, I hate to put it this way, but it seems like the nicest people are going through hell. And if you can do something to lighten their day and decorate something and make it look good, and they can have something instead of a styrofoam piece that they have to hold down because it's too light, you know, it's just kind of a lifesaver for those people. Something that gives them a bright moment every morning when they wake up. The finish on them is important. The poly, primarily because once it seals and dries, it doesn't have any volatile content to it coming out. It's going to contaminate the lining inside the wig. And that's what they're worried about. If you use some of these others like varnish and things that might soften up, you could end up ruining that wig. So they're very particular about that. And I think that's right at that last article, the page 5 I got labeled, it shows the complete wig stand. At the very end there, it does talk a little bit about that also. To kind of follow that, they say you can use tongue oil, but you got to wait a while for it to totally cure. So and there's only a specific kind of tongue oil. It's not like any tongue oil. So I just tell people stay with the poly and you're safe, you know. So like I say, our one club's done 48 of them, and I demo Saturday. I'll be demoing down at Buckeye. They have Gina is a liaison with women in turning for the AAW from the Buckeye Club. She's been turning them. I think she's already done 9 herself. She's kind of on the shy side, doesn't want to step up, be the front and center. So I've invited her to be a part of the demonstration. So she's going to share the stage with me and do some work. But she's been, one one meeting I went to and I took a wood stand and they said, oh, this is wood stand, this is what A does. And so Gina, you're in charge of that. What did come up with? She goes, David, come talk. She's a real nice lady and she turned a lot of them on her own. I don't know what he's on with me, but, her wood stands look good. She's done 9 of them herself already. So it's easy to do, nothing really complicated, so, I don't think you can go wrong. Upside down bowl, open flat bowl, and some spindle turning. At home, I figure I average between an hour and a half to do one. Once I have all the stuff together, it's not, it's not that difficult. So, thanks for sharing your time with me, and, if you have any questions, call Mark. If you can't answer, you can call me and I'll call AEW, I'll call somebody else too. It's just something we need to, participate in. It's really a good program.
So if
Question.
anybody decides to do these and you're wondering how to get them to the right organization, my daughter works for the American Cancer Society. She's the only rep for the American Cancer Society that lives locally. So if you do make some and you need a way to get them to the right agency, let me know and we can get them to her and she'll get them to the right place.
Okay, Mike.
I'm familiar with the gathering place in Ohio. There's a very similar agency in Erie called the Erie Cancer Wellness Center. I've done some work with them. And so I know that the executive director there, they give, they give wigs. It's a whole array of services they provide for free. Anything but the medical side of care. So that's another place to get those to. And I can help folks get those to the right people.
He can keep this here as a sample to show you every week if you want, or if anybody wants to mention it, I'll just leave that with you. If you go to cancer patient in Erie or in Cleveland, I just want to see somebody here. And I used to live in here. I worked up here at the Cane site for 9 years, so I'll see pretty good.
So I'm going to talk about this in a moment, but I want to reach out. I'll reach out to you, Mike, and to you, Dave, because, well, I'll come forward. I do, as we did last year, we did a thing. And Dave, you're not off the hook yet, so hold on to that. While the topic has come up, I would like to introduce this as a club challenge for 2026. We did one last year for the, those who remember, Bert demonstrated the shallow themed platters, and we did a challenge on that. For those who would like to participate, we're going to do a club challenge for wake stands. And again, it's voluntary. If you'd like to participate, great. We will do our club share on our March meeting, or at our March meeting. So I think that's March 3rd or 4th, whatever, first Wednesday in March. So if you're interested, we will do a club challenge, and I'll work with, thank you to Mike and Dave for speaking up. We did not have a local connection yet. This is also a project that Bert teaches at Maplewood High School, and he has his seniors already working on wig stands that they are going to donate. So he's got a head start on this. So for those that are interested, we will do a club challenge, and I think it would be great for our club to step up and represent. Bert has graciously already prepared material. If you would like to take material, he's got another 30 sets. He's got tops, bottoms, and stems in the back of the room.
They're a little bit undersized to his dimensions, but you should be able to, there's one over there sitting that works, should work.
And just off the side, some of our club members made this smaller, and I asked them when I delivered them, they said, yes, they have a need for those too, because they have children needing them too.
So if materials are a problem, please take materials. These are free. If you're interested, I would just say, if you're going to take them, please use them. Thank you to Bert for preparing that. Mark.
Papers? You're gonna have information, you can email it to people?
Yes,
Or?
so this article that Dave has given me was written or printed within the AAW magazine. So I will copy this in a PDF and I will distribute it to everyone. So you can kind of get a see dimensions and so forth.
I will point out one thing. They do not do the tenon like I do. That was kind of what I came up with. They do a pin jaws. Problem was about the second one I did, the pin, it flew off because the pin jaws did not stay tight enough. I had a goofy little chuck, I guess. So that's when I came up with the idea. And when I was talking about, if you make your jaws close to the sides, you don't even see the marks on there. If you leave them wide open and clamp that way down, you're gonna see the marks, but you don't see. I've done 8 or 9 of these now, and I've done all of them but the first 2 this way, and you don't, I mean, it looks like part of the declaration.
Yeah.
But just that's the tip that you will see that's different from that.
So I will read from the article real quick, because the biggest takeaway, I didn't even think of the impact that finishes would have on this. There's a lot of flexibility in materials and design, but the finishes obviously would be important. So it says, do not use non-curing oil finishes like mineral or walnut oil. It says pure tongue oil is not recommended as it takes far too long to fully cure and may leave unwanted aroma on wigs placed in the stand. Shellac finishes could be damaged by compounds used in making the wigs. Shellac is also not totally waterproof. Washed wigs hung to dry will eventually destroy the finish. Wax finishes could contaminate the wig. And so that, I mean, it probably leaves a couple, but polyurethane. And I guess it didn't mention lacquer, but polyurethane is one that you're recommending. Dave. So,
I went out when I did it, I was kind of afraid. So I went to Sherwin-Williams and showed them what that said. Urethane, polyurethane, polyurethane is in the urethane family of resins and paints and stuff. And so I said, I need the best you got. So they got a marine grade water-based outdoor for $52. I said, my God. I said, can you do better than that? And I said, let me go talk to the manager. They gave it to me $32. So talk to them. You don't have to have that. I've talked to the other people that have done it. They just use their wipe on poly and other poly. And it's working fine.
So that's information about this. We will put this in a PDF. I really thank Dave for coming and demonstrating tonight and promoting this wonderful cause. I do want to step back behind the computer. I have a couple photos that I think are really telling that I'd like to show of Dave's work and his other club members. So 1 second. Where's your computer? So on the Dave, if you could describe for folks what the photo is on the TV screen.
This is the sort of cake that I delivered. These are the workers walking back from their desks and come out to see it, and they put them all in this cart. These are the free wigs that they would be giving them, and those are the wig stands, those styrofoam things. And they were so excited to come out and look at all those and say, oh my God, our people in this love those. And you can see here different heights, different sizes. Here's one of those with a smaller head on it. Some of the guys took and segmented pieces of wood for the dolls. I mean, it's just the creativity that you can put into this is just amazing. And have fun with it. And the people that you give these to, it's going to be like all smiles. They're going to be so elated to know that you guys have done something for them that they didn't even ask for. It's just amazing. They tell me every time I bring them in, it's like, oh boy, more, we need more. And they're gifted to these people, and that's the meaning. They're supposed to be basically the thing you make a bowl out of, like I was showing right here. I mean, look at that, how close that is. Take that pen off, you got another one right here. So I just say just do it. These people all that work in there and everybody that worked there that they came.
And here's one other photo.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my pieces, and that's another one of my pieces. This is Mike Nathal. He's kind of a comedian, and he's a real pro. He's got pieces of wood turning and sculptures in about 4 different galleries, hiding galleries. this is what my wife was talking about, where they decorated them and, the patients were loving. And I'm not sure what paint they used on that. I did not have the privilege of talking to the guy that did that. And I told him, so I told him I can't tell you what it is, but evidently it's, the club of Tennessee.
Flash it with a rattle can for you.
But no, it was, to me, it was really fun and enjoyable to take, you know, the reception we got was just wonderful.
Okay,